In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to add basic htaccess authentication to a website. So in this case, I've got a development site set up right here. You notice that we can access this site. I'll reload the page. We can access it without any authentication. Now I'm going to show you how to add authentication to this site. So in this case, I am logged into the server. This is on my local host, and we'll notice we've got a public directory. If we change that public directory and list out the files, we'll notice we've got our index HTML. Here's this page, test page right here. This is a test page. You see here's the HTML code that makes up this page, and what we want to do is we want to secure this directory. So let me show you how we do this. So first thing, we need to create an htpasswd file. So let's go back one directory. We're going to go up one directory above the public directory. We're above the public directory now. This is not accessible via the web root. And you'll notice there are no files in here, but there is a subdirectory public. That is our web root. So what I need to do now is I need to use a command called htpasswd right there, htpasswd. And what we want to do is we want to create a new file. So I'm going to add an option. Or actually, I'll tell you what, first, let's see if we've got help on this thing. There we go. Here's our help. So what we need to do is we need to type the command, type our options, type the name of our password file and the username, and then we can enter a password for that username. So in this case, let's go ahead and set this up. We'll type in htpasswd and use the -c option. That's going to create a new file. Let's give that file a name. Typically, we'll call this htpasswd. Now let's type in the name of the user that we want to use to access this site. So I'll call it code 10 in this case, since we're doing this for the Code Tennessee project. I'll hit enter. Now it's going to request a password, so I'll type in my password. I'll retype that password. Now it has made a file for us. Let's check that out. There's that htpasswd file, and I'm going to cat that file. That means we're going to view the contents of it. So I type cat in the name of a file. It'll give me the contents, and you'll see there is our username, and here's our password, and it's actually been encrypted using a hash. And so that hash has taken the password I typed in and encrypted it in this case. Now that we've got our htpasswd file added, we're going to have to add some directives to another file called the htaccess file that's going to be in our web root. So we're going to change to our web root. And what we need to do is add this file if it's not there. If it's already there, we need to add some new instructions to it. So first thing we need to do is take note of the directory where this htpasswd file is. To get that directory, if you'll use the command pwd, which stands for present working directory, that's going to print out the full path. In this case, you'll notice it's the same as what I see right here, but in some cases your site path might have a tilde in front of it, and that would show that you are referencing the home directory for your user. So you can always type pwd present working directory and get the full path. So we want to take note of that. var www code10.org test site. So we're going to change back into the public directory, and now what we want to do is we want to create the file called htaccess.htaccess. So first we can use the command touch. That creates the empty file that we need, .htaccess. Now we're going to use the text editor on Linux or Unix systems that's called Vim. Type vi and the name of the file, and there it is. We'll hit enter. Now we're in this text editor, and so if you can upload your file via FTP if you don't want to do this on the command line on the server. Vim is sometimes hard for newbies to use. There's a lot of things you have to learn about it. In this case, we want to enter insert mode. Insert mode is the mode that you use to type text. I enter that mode by pressing I on my keyboard, and you'll notice down here it says insert. So now we can actually type text. So in this case, I'm going to use a shortcut that I've got configured to enter in the basic authentication commands. And so really what you're going to be doing is copying these commands and putting them in your text editor to fill these out. But we remember it's var www code10.org test site, and that's where our htpasswd file is. I'll hit enter. My shortcut will enter this information into my text editor. So you see what it is. We've got to tell it where the auth user file is. And there's the path to it. We have a name. This is what's going to show up in the browser. It'll say it's secure site. You can name it whatever you want to. Auth type is basic, require, valid user. Once we've got this entered in here, I'm going to exit insert mode in Vim by pressing my escape key. You'll notice insert mode is no longer in there. Now I'm in command mode, and I'm going to type colon. You see the command starts to appear down here, and I'm going to type X. That is the command to exit and save your work. So I'll do that. Now you'll notice that our file, if I cat that file, there are commands. So now let's see if this is working. I'm going to refresh this page, and there you see it. We've got authentication required. So I'm going to enter my username. I'm going to type in the password that I entered. I'm going to click login, and now I'm authenticated on this page again. Whereas if we open up a new browser tab and go to test.code10.dev, you'll see, and if I hit cancel, you'll see we're unauthorized. So you've got to enter in that username and password, and that's how we did it. First we created a htpasswd file using the htpasswd command, then we changed into the public directory, and we added some commands to our htaccess file. And so that's how you can secure your site with basic authentication.